Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today, I'll be reviewing the new Diplomat watch from local watch brand Aries Gold. Now, the Diplomat is positioned more as an entry-level watch, and it possesses like a versatile style while possessing solid specifications. So let's see if it's any good. Now, as typical of the brand, the Diplomat from Aries Gold features specifications that punches way above its price point. First and foremost, the Diplomat uses a flat sapphire crystal. So as aforementioned numerous times in my previous reviews, I'm a huge advocate of sapphire crystal due to the inherent scratch resisting properties of the watch. Now, personally, I always look for sapphire crystal in my modern watches and it adds greatly to the durability of the watch. Now, let me put it in some context. This is like a $180 watch as compared to to the mineral crystal found on most fashion watches, your Daniel Wellington, your Movement, your Fossil watches at this price point. The sapphire crystal is definitely much more scratch resistant. In addition, it has a water resistance rating of 50 meters, meaning that you can wear this while raining or under the tap without any issues. Now, onto the back. Let me bring this closer to the camera. The Aries Gold Diplomat is powered by the Seiko NH36 movement, which is basically the day window version of the NH35, which is visible through an exhibition case back. So some quick specs for those that are unaware: the movement beats at 3 Hz or 21,600 vibrations per hour, has a power reserve of 42 hours, and contains 24 joules and is hacking. I'm a big fan of the Seiko NH series movements and greatly prefer it to the Miyota 8 series, which is the alternative automatic movement commonly seen at this price point. That's because unlike the NH36, the Miyota 8 series starters isn't that accurate and has reliability issues. In my opinion, the NH35 or NH36, as we see here on Diplomat, is the best bet, I would say, at the sub $200 price point. But then again, to even have automatic movement at this price point, I think that's an impressive feat by itself. Now onto the bracelet. Again, uncommon on watches at this price point, the watch really features a metal bracelet. So it's nothing to shock home about. It's comparable, I would say, to like the bracelet found on a similarly priced or slightly higher priced Seiko 5 watches. But we still get some nice touch. You see, there's some contrast in polishing here on the bracelet, and if I bring this closer to the camera, let me see if the camera can focus. You'll see that the clasp here, the clasp is signed with the Aries Gold branding, and it fastens solidly as well. You can hear the click, reassuring click. So overall, I would say that the specs of the Diplomat is great for the price. For less than $200, you get sapphire crystal, you get a robust NH35 or NH36 movement, as well as a metal bracelet. What's not to like? Now onto the design of the watch. So again, let me bring this closer to the camera. So let's put things in context, right? The sub $200 price point is dominated by watches like Daniel Wellington, Movement, or Fossil, and they often have lackluster designs with the excuse of being minimalist. The Diplomat, in my opinion, does not fall into the same pit hole. For one, you can see there's a spiral guilloche pattern here at the center of the dial, a finishing texture that is very uncommon, I would say, at this price point. Off the top of my head, the closest I can get will probably be something from Tissot, like a Tissot the lock features similar guilloche patterning, and that is at the way. That is probably a watch that is triple, not quadruple the price point. Now, secondly, not only is there texture, there's also depth. So you can see that the dial of the watch is actually dual layered. So you have the bottom guilloche layer here, as well as an upper layer where the minute track and the indices are. Combined with the applied nature of the indices, which is faceted by the way, this gives the dial of the Diplomat like a keen sense of depth and separates it from most of the flat dials of like say a Daniel Wellington, for example. So yeah, very nice, very well executed dial in my opinion. Now last but not least, there's a set of alpha hands that completes, I would say, the contemporary look of the Diplomat, while a lollipop second hand adds a nice vintage touch. I would say that this is a very versatile aesthetic, one that can work just as well with a suit as it does with a t-shirt and shorts. As even the day and date complication on the right, aid its predictability. With many of us in lockdown currently around the world, Singapore has entered its phase 2 heightened alert. For example, the days, especially the weekdays, can blend together as we work from home, and I found myself relying quite a lot on the day window to keep track of the different days. There's an area that exposes the low price tag of the Diplomat. I would say it has to be the case. So let me show you guys a bit of the case side. The case is very simply high polish throughout, so that it lacks, I would say, the refinement that you might see on higher price watches. There's no contrasting finishing, There's no like chamfered edges, there's no sculpted lugs or whatsoever. It's essentially just a polished hunk of metal. Still, the case is crafted from solid steel, and it possesses a reassuring heft that you don't find on most of its competition, like again Daniel Wellington movement Forcer, for example. There's also a sign crown, so you can see the Aries Gold logo sign here, which is a detail that's not always present on most lower priced watches. And as always, the crown is actually very nicely sized, so hand winding the watch is actually not an issue here. Now let me just put this on my wrist and show you guys how it wears. So there you go. So on my 7-inch wrist, I would say that the 42mm case size of Diplomat actually wears very well. In fact, it's quite perfect. It's definitely a modern sizing, but it does not feel overly large as some of these lower price watches tend to be. It's large enough, definitely, especially paired on this metal bracelet, to feel sporty. But I would say it's still small enough so you can see here that the lugs does not overhang my wrist in any way. I'll still say that especially if you swap this on a leather strap, it's probably small enough to still function as a dress watch. It's also not that thick, it's only 12.5mm thick, so it should slide under most shirt cuff if you're planning on wearing this, with a white office shirt to work. Okay, so in conclusion, I would say that the Aries Gold Diplomat is great for a one watch collection. If you're someone that's simply looking for like an affordable, robust looking, no frills, good looking watch that can be worn in a variety of scenarios and situations and outfits, actually, the Diplomat fits the bill perfectly. It has great specification for the price. As a dial that is really nice looking, it has great depth, great texture, and it's very accessibly priced. In fact, I would say that Diplomat is probably one of the best watches I've reviewed at a sub $200 Sing dollars, by the way, price point. So for those interested in the Diplomat, you can use the promo code Shiok to enjoy a crazy 50% off all Aries Gold watches online. After the discount, the Diplomat can be had for about 140 USD or about 186 Singapore dollars, which is an absolute steal again for what it is. I think the Diplomat works best for, let's say, students, uni students, or fresh graduates who have a limited budget but who still want a watch that looks nice and can be worn with almost any outfit. And it serves as well, in my opinion, as a good gateway into the world of mechanical watches at large. At the very least, it's definitely a much better option than most fashion watches out there at this similar price point. If you're thinking of picking up like a Daniel Wellington or Movement or Forcer or whatsoever, pick this up instead. You'll be doing yourself a huge favor. I was very impressed by the packaging, actually. So it comes in this very nice, let me show you guys, like wooden box. There's like a velvety texture, of course with the brand logo on top. It's really inside, it's really nice. You can see very nice supple velvet or suede plush cushioning inside. And here's my spare links, of course. So yeah, if you're intending on getting the watch as a gift for a loved one, it comes in very nice packaging. You can even customize it on the Aries Gold website. You can have text engraved, pictures engraved, etc. for a small premium. So I'm very impressed. But again, this is probably the best packaging that I've ever seen at a sub $200 price point. So all in all, to reiterate, I would say the Diplomat is definitely a great steal for the money. You get a great watch, great packaging. What's not to like? And alright, that ends my review for today. Again, as usual, if you like the video, do give it a thumbs up, do share around, and as always, I'll see you guys in my next video. Ciao!